Well, some of you have seen a couple of videos ago on PaleoMan52's channel. I had sent out a couple of clunkers that I was trying to nap out because I was gonna ruin them, turn them into rubble like this, but he turned out some real nice pieces as usual. Showed this Obsidian before. It's pretty brittle, has a lot of inclusions in it. There's little white specks everywhere, and they tend to cause problems too. But anyways, so a couple of the pieces in the debitage here. I made this one here. It's a real fine piece. Of course, real nice flaking. Great knapping. Little paleo piece. There's a little flute, central flute down the bottom over there. Nice and thin. One of these days, if I ever get good, I might be able to nap some pieces this thin. But it's a nice piece. Thank you very much. And then there's another one here in here somewhere. Let's see if I can find it. Okay, I think I found it. Alright. Well, this one's a nice one. Here we go. Nice big piece. When I started preforming it, I don't know, it was about out to here, all the way around, pretty thick. And he turned this thing into a beautiful, thin, look how thin that is, blade. Can't thank you enough for doing that for me and for making a video of how you do your napping. So one of the things that I noticed Mr. PaleoMan52 use was a moose billet, and so I went and bought me some moose. Cut the end off here. Let's see, it was like that right there, and I had a tine over here like that, so I cut the tine off, and now I have me a pressure flaker. I cut this, and now I have me a moose billet, and then I have me some more moose to make all kinds of goodies out of. This moose billet I've used already. One of these days I'll get a thicker one. This one isn't the thickest, boy, but this stuff works great. It's very solid. Very solid. Hard. The inner core of the horn, the antler here, isn't very soft. It's really dense, so it makes it more, I don't know, usable without breaking down. But it's a nice billet so far. It's been helping me out. A couple of other things that I've been napping out. Got me a big clunker right here out of the Obsidian, nice and thick. A little bit of cortex left on it, but I think I'll kind of leave it like this. It's kind of fun. Kind of fun to have a big clunker like that. I don't know, it looks alright. Of course I could thin it down, but I think I'll kind of leave it like that. Some other pieces I've been making lately are a couple other little blades. Of course, one of these days I'll get the turtle shell taken off. Well, not on this piece, but my knapping skills will increase in performance one of these days. But, you know, kind of thick, but, you know, it's just a knife, and it works out really well. Let's see. I got a few more pieces that I've knapped out. Let's see, some little guys. A couple of little guys that I've knapped out. Nothing substantial or beautiful, but fairly thin. Just little blades. Let's see, I got another one here. Fairly thin. I made. Another one right here. It's fairly thin also. Kind of fun. Another little guy right here. A little bit crooked on the tip, but nice and sharp. A little bit of cortex left on there, kind of for good measure. Sometimes I like to leave the cortex on there, it just gives it a little bit of character. Now this is my first attempt at a paleo point. I have some central fluting down there at the bottom. Of course, it's kind of thick. Like I said, one of these days I'll thin it down. Little central flute kind of thing down there at the bottom. But my skills have got a long way to go. I'm trying to get some good flick patterns on there too, so it doesn't look entirely like a clunker. Somewhat functional. I napped this one out the other day. Another blade. A little bit thick. It's kind of my MO right now, but it's okay. Here's a picture of old Paleo Man 52's backyard, actually. You guys ever been to his house? This is what his backyard looks like. Anyways, so he said, this scene is just 5 minutes from my house. Can you see why I love hanging Hinchworth so much? I'm sending 2 of the 3 pieces back to you that you sent. The first one I worked is the small paleo preform. The second piece is the thickest one, and I worked it for you on the camera. So if you guys ever see his channel and where he did that, you'll see what he did. The third piece crumbled after 2 flakes came off. I'm sending some of the percussion flakes I took off the video. I hope these are helpful to you. The stone is very challenging, but with a lot of patience you should be able to make a few things out of it. Mr. Paleo Man 52. So Thank you, sir. There's another thing that he made. Kind of it's a basalt knife that I wrapped the handle with some deer skin on there. Makes a little handle. It's kind of nice. It's sharp. I like this basalt. Basalt's one of my favorite materials to knap. It's a tough material. Very tough material, and to even knap it like this, it really shows skill. So that's what the handle looks like. I just wrapped it in there. Still been ground on the sides up to about here on either side, so it's not entirely sharp, but up to here. But up here it's very sharp. A little bit of serrations down there too. Boy, this would work good. It'd cut you open real easy. Now, also the next and last thing that I'm going to show you is a piece that's, well, Mr. Richard Smith sent me. We did a little trade, and the stone that he sent me is a piece I think that he found out in Missouri. And what I did is I was up in the mountains and I got a piece of cedar wood and cut it with my knife, made a handle for it, and then fixed the blade in asphaltum inside, set it inside the handle, and this is the results of it. And the handle I whittled away with my pocket knife, the whole thing. And that's real asphaltum. And that's a real Native American tool. So I made a knife out of it. The end split down there on the right hand side a little bit, so I put a little bit of wood glue and clamped it. It seems to be holding quite well. It has a little knot in it. But you know, this thing would be a very useful tool if anybody needed a knife. What I have here in my hand is a real chunk of asphaltum. And this is kind of what it looks like when you get it. In one of my previous videos I went to a site where I found monos, lots and lots of monos, and that place was a huge ancient asphaltum seep. And what I've read is that they would use a lot of the monos and a lot of the metates sometimes actually to break this up, grind it into a powder, okay, so that they can melt it into balls and something that's easier to use, that's been processed, so that they could do things like that. And this is very strong glue, asphaltum glue. So that's the real McCoy right there, people. Asphaltum. This concludes the end of my video. thanks to everybody who chimes in, comments, views. Thank you to Mr. PaleoMan52 for your kindness and for your big-heartedness and taking the time to make a few pieces for me and to clean up my mess a little bit. Great pieces. Just can't thank you enough for them. Beautifully flaked, beautifully worked. Definitely going in a keeper's case. Stay tuned.